So I'd like to welcome you to Hindustan Times. We're on the Lifestyle Channel and Desimartini today, speaking about Shrikant and especially the visually impaired.
Right.
And just wanted to understand your views about Srikant. Have you seen the movie? Your granddaughter Alaya is on there. So how was the experience? How did you like the film?
Well, seeing my granddaughter on screen is always thrilling for me. She's such a talented actress. And one of my great joys in life was when I presented her the Filmfare Award for Best Debut Actress for her role in Jawani Janeman with
Right.
Seb. And she was brilliant, and she's brilliant in this film also. So that gives me great pleasure. But also what gave me immense pleasure was that I think one of the best films that have been made in India on the subject of the blind and visually challenged is Srikant. It is such a heartrending story, and the amazing story of a man that not only overcame blindness, but surpassed what people with sight would do. And this is the whole mission of Sightsavers India, which I'm the honorary brand ambassador, to bring light into people's lives. If you just close your eyes for 30 seconds and then try and imagine this is what the rest of your life is going to be, it's a frightening prospect. It's a horrifying prospect. And I think Srikant was such a well-told story of a man that not only overcame the handicaps of being blind, but did it so in an unbelievable style. It's almost like a blind superhero. And the great thing is, this is not a fictional story. It's a story of a man who actually exists, who's actually done all the things that we see in the film. So it was very touching for me at various levels. Firstly, because I'm deeply involved in the cause of the blind. Secondly, because my granddaughter's in it. And thirdly, because I'm in cinema and I love to see a great film. So I salute the makers of Srikant for making the best film for the blind and visually challenged in India.
So Rajkummar Rao's performance as a visually impaired, what did you think of that in particular, also because
Outstanding.
you're attached to this cause?
Outstanding. I think he should win, at least be in contention for, if not win, the Best Actor award, because we don't know what other performances are out there. But his performance as a blind man was impeccable. The way he used or didn't use his eyes, the way he uses eyebrows, to show the inner turmoil that was going on, the way he fixed his look on things when he was talking to, it was just such a masterful performance of how a blind man would be, especially with the degree of blindness that he has. I was absolutely blown away by that. I think it is certainly Rajkummar Rao's finest performance to date, because not only was there acting involved, but there were immense numbers of technical skills that he brought to bear, between the use of his eyes, face, eyebrows, tonality, and just the body language of somebody who's blind. It's really not easy to do that. It takes a lot of concentration and thinking before you come on stage as to what you're going to do. And I think he passed every measure in flying colors. I salute his performance.
Associated with. Could you tell us a little more about, how you are associated with them and what is it that they do?
Sightsavers India is probably the most impressive charity that exists, and it exists because of people supporting it. This is a charity that did incredible work, an NGO that did incredible work even before I became their honorary brand ambassador. Over the last few decades, they have performed over 5 million eye operations. Just let that sink in. 5 million eye operations in 108 districts of India. They have performed over 35 million eye inspections. It is staggering what they do, and the degree of joy that they have brought into the lives of literally millions. So I'm very proud to be part of Sightsavers, but this is not just a question of doing operations and getting rid of cataracts and dealing with avoidable blindness. And it's about empowering the blind about getting blind children into normal schools by giving them the tools that they need, computers, hearing aids, accessories, etc., that will enable them to be part of the normal educational curriculum. So they don't have to just attend schools for blind children. You know, they do so many things. And for instance, the most recent initiative was the Rahi initiative, where they tested truck drivers driving on the Golden Quadrilateral, that is from Delhi to Kolkata to Chennai to Mumbai back to Delhi, that quadrilateral. And they found that 42% of truck drivers in India have sight problems. That's real dangers on the road. 10% of them had really serious eye problems. And when you ask these people, how do you drive? He said, oh, हम अंदाज से चला लेते हैं. अंदाज से चला लेते हैं? I mean, there's people's lives at stake. And then they say, why don't you get the street? They say, अगर हम मालिक को बताएंगे, हम हमें नौकरी से निकाल देंगे. So the fear is that if they tell people, their employers, that they have eye problems, that they lose their job and they lose their livelihood. So they don't even talk about it. And the amazing thing about Sightsavers is they're so organized and so high-tech in a way that if a truck driver is tested, say, in Agra, and they figure he needs glasses of a certain power, now that's not immediately ready, they'll say, okay, in 10 days' time, where are you going to be? He'll say, I'll be in Jaipur. In 10 days, they'll deliver his eyeglasses to him in Jaipur. And we have distributed over 100,000, over 1 lakh eyeglasses free to truck drivers to make their lives easier and to make your life safer on the highways. So people that want to be part of a cause, part of a movement that helps really revolutionize people's lives and empowers them to become regular people in society who are not dependent on the largesse and sympathy of others and the care of others. If you want that to be part of your life's mission, I would urge people to donate to Sightsavers India, because all this runs because of personal charity and corporate charity. And all that Sightsavers has done has brought so much joy into the lives of millions of people that I'm proud to be its honorary brand ambassador.
That was great. Thank you, sir. So clearly there won't be people like Srikant suffering in India anymore.
No, I mean, Shrikant was remarkable because he overcame his own blindness. A lot of blind people are very intelligent, very sensitive. Their other senses become extra alert, extra developed to compensate for the blindness or partial sightedness. And but a lot of them don't know where to go. A lot of them don't know who to turn to. A lot of them just need the simplest of things, Braille books, or even now in today's world, computers that read books to them, etc. If these tools are given to them, they can lead normal lives and there will not be a burden on their families or on society. And we have almost 1/4 of the world's blind population in India. So we're talking about substantial numbers of lives, and it's not just somebody that's got an incurable disease that you can't do anything about. A lot of blindness is preventable, and a lot of blindness can be mitigated, and people with cataracts, etc., all that can be handled very easily. And all these services are given for free thanks to the generosity and caring of people who've contributed to Sightsavers India. And I must say that when I see the faces of these children who are getting the help and then their new lives, it's incredible. But it's not just doing big things. For instance, Sightsavers brought a group of 12 children from the heartland of India, from Jaipur and Madhya Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan and Chota Nagpur and all, brought them to Bombay to give them the experience of what it is to be near the sea. And I took these children, to the beach in Juhu, and they heard the sea and they walked into the sea and they felt its power. Can you imagine what that does to the imagination of a child? And then come into Bombay and go to the historic places that I explained all about the gateway of India and give them the vada paos and the food of Bombay and the sights and sounds and buzzing noises of the big city. Those experiences open up the imagination, the minds of children in ways we cannot even imagine. They will go back with their minds filled with all kinds of ideas, all kinds of hopes, all kinds of possibilities that they want to follow up, etc. And it's a message of hope that I want to share with all of you who've helped Sightsavers or want to help Sightsavers. Lives are being transformed. People are being changed from being dependents to being productive, creative members of society that are contributing to society. And there's huge joy in that. There's huge joy in that. And I really salute Sightsavers for what they're doing. They were doing this before I joined, and I've been with them almost for 8 years now. And I've seen the programs, I've been to their village level programs, and it is astonishing to see not only what these children have achieved in regular schools, etc., but the respect that they're given by other children. Normally people who are disabled are always taunted, teased by children, etc. Here, one didn't get that feeling. Maybe they were behaving because I was there, but just judging by the body language of the children, you got a sense that they were proud to be who they were, that they were not marginalized or harassed by the others, and they were proud of the skills that they had. So if one wants to improve society in some ways, this certainly is a very good way of doing it. And also, the people involved are people of the highest integrity. The greatest number of rupees goes to the actual cause, not siphoned off in administrative fees, etc., in any unreasonable way. So I'm very happy to be there saying, this is a good bunch of people, they're doing great things, please help them. And I have no hesitation in saying that anyone who helps them will have a special place in my heart.
Definitely, sir. So, sir, speaking about, hope and dreams, we wanted to know a little bit about, now the third generation, Alaya, has come into movies and, she's become an actor. How do you feel about that? What do you think about her performance in Srikant, and how is that experience for you as a grandfather?
Well, as a grandfather, naturally, I was immensely proud of her. But the thing is, she's done some very important films, from Jawani Janeman to Freddy to U-Turn to Srikant, Bade Miyan Chote Miyan. So there's a lot of films she's done. But the thing about Alaya is that she has a natural talent for acting, which is inborn, it's God-given. But on top of that, she works so hard. There's not a day when she's not doing some kind of class, some kind of gym routine, or working out with her, working on scenes and possible auditions, improving her diction, improving her action. She's, the kind of work she puts in is an example to all young actors of what it takes to be successful today. And I have no doubt that she will emerge as one of the most talented and versatile actresses of our generation, which of course makes me very proud. But she's earned it. It's not as though I've helped her in any way. She's very bright, she's very intelligent, very sensitive, and she takes her own decisions. And I salute that. Occasionally, I might chide her for a few things here and there, but that's in the family. And really, as a grandfather, I could not be happier to have a granddaughter as talented and successful as Alaya.
So, sir, just following up on that question, do you think that Alaya has a lot of pressure as an actor, being a third generation actor? Technically, there's a lot of weight that comes with the name, with the family that she comes from. Do you think there's pressure on her as an actor to perform better than others?
I don't think she has that pressure, because A, she knows that she's good. Secondly, she is very confident of who she is and what she can do. And I think whatever pressures there might have been on her, or expectations, put it that way, I think she surpassed the expectations any of us had of her. by what she has done and what she will do. She's surpassed anything that we thought she would achieve in the short time that she's been in the industry. So Alaya is not pressured by others' expectations. She is pressured by her own expectations because she is a perfectionist by nature and she wants the best in every single shot. And she's very severe on herself. So she's in competition with herself, not dependent on what others say or don't say, or what we expect of her or don't expect of her. She will be one of the finest actors of the next generation in Bollywood, if she is not already. She is
She
now.
is.
Just hasn't had chance to show all her versatility. The thing that struck me about all her performances is that each one is dramatically different to the other. Even in Srikant, the role she played was totally different from anything she's done before. And in Bada Miyan Choti Miyan, again, it was totally different to what anyone else on the screen was doing. And right from her beginning in Jawani Ji Jane Man, she's shown a certain confidence on screen, a certain attitude that each character takes on, that she's followed through in a very beautiful way. I think she has a great future, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, we follow her on Instagram and we certainly think so.
I know she's got over 1.5 million
yoga
followers
artist.
on Instagram. Million and a half followers on Instagram.
She paints, she does yoga. It's lovely to see everything that she's doing.
And since you follow on Instagram, you know that she's constantly doing something or the other.
Yes.
She doesn't waste a day, doesn't waste a minute. Yes, she has her chill out times like all of us do and should. But she is totally focused on the need to build her brand, on the need to bring her acting skills to the max, and to be the best she can be. And I think she's a role model for that. I don't know anyone who works harder than Alaya.
Yeah, so coming to the personal life, as you said that in your professional life, you do keep guiding Alaya every now and then.
No, I don't guide her that much. She does the guiding herself. I make the odd comment now and then that might nudge her to think about something, but she is pretty much her own master. She's not dependent on anybody's advice. She does look for it, listen to what we say, but ultimately she decides for herself.
Okay, so as a grandfather, how do you feel about Alaya having a boyfriend or, dating someone? And who would you prefer it to be? Someone from the industry or outside the industry?
My parents never ever interfered in who I dated, who I married, who I chose to be with, and nor will I. I think she is more than capable of deciding who she wants in her life, how long she wants them in her life, what kind of relationship she has with them. I would never dream of suggesting to Alaya that she marry somebody inside or outside the industry, tall, short, dark, fair. That's none of my business. She knows her mind. She's a bright girl, and I trust her judgment implicitly. I support whatever she chooses to the fullest. When you've been in the industry for so many years, you've seen many stars come, you've seen many stars go. You realize that ultimately what keeps you there for a long period of time is professionalism, is the fact that people like to work with you, and that you deliver good performances. I think Alaya will have a long career. I think she will have a very, very productive career creatively, and I hope she becomes a great star as well. But she will always excel as an actress no matter what, because she is an excellent actress. And that's the single biggest difference between yesterday and today. In earlier years, it was possible for somebody to become a big star even if he wasn't a great actor. Today, you have to be a good actor, as well as doing all the other things that are required if you want to be a hero or a heroine, which is the ability to sing songs on screen, the ability to dance on screen, do action scenes, do dramatic scenes, do love scenes. You're expected to be a complete all-rounder if you want to be a leading man or a leading lady in Bollywood today. And you can't fool people because, the camera's an X-ray, social media's there,
Everywhere.
everywhere, and you can't fool people anymore. They can smell a good performance, they can smell a bad performance. You can't paper it over by getting a few favorable reviews. People know what the truth is. It's all out there in the open, and I am fully confident that that atmosphere will help Alaya realize who I believe she's destined to be.
So, sir, that brings me to my other question. What is the difference between cinema then versus now?
Well, mainly technology. I think technology has changed everything. Those days, if a film was a hit, it ran in the theaters for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, very successful, became Silver Jubilee, means 25 weeks in the theater. Golden Jubilee is 50 weeks in the theater. None of that happens today. Everything's down to the first few weekends, and then it goes into TV, it goes into streaming services, etc. So the nature of exhibition has changed dramatically. The nature of production has changed dramatically because of the technology available. Earlier, everything was done on film. You had to edit things in a certain kind of way. There was a time when, even get a dissolve, a simple dissolve on film, you had to send the negative to Prasad Labs in Chennai, Madras those days, to get a dissolve done. Or people would use a thing called the Mitchell camera to be able to do an in-camera dissolve, so they didn't have to send it to the lab,
Wow.
And those things sound like, the Stone Age, which it was in a sense. Although cinema was invented in the early 20th century, but the end of the 19th century, but still, till the almost 70s and 80s, the technology was based on film in a very big way. Once the digital age started, then you can change the colors, you can change the tonality, you can change the lighting. So the nature and the ability of filmmakers to make whatever they dreamed of is not just dependent on what you can do on a set, but what you can do in the editing room and the post-production room afterwards. So technologically, filmmakers have become much stronger, and therefore you see these incredible films like Avatar and just marvels of new technologies. Plus, I think the nature of film subjects has become far more varied. It has become, science fiction films are just maybe not even 1 in 1,000 in the early days. Today, people are going to science fiction. Even if you go into horror, it's with new technologies. My own series that made me very successful in Europe, the Sandokan series, which became the most successful series in European television history, which is why I became a star in Europe and got all the awards and all that. Now, almost 40 odd years after that, they are remaking that series with all the new technologies, and I absolutely encourage it, because when you have iconic stories, every generation has a right and a desire to retell iconic stories in their own way. So I think Sandokan, redone with the miracles of today's technology, will be a marvelous experience. It will also draw attention to the series I did at that time, and comparisons will be drawn. So I've got nothing against the new series coming out. It makes me current again. So there are many things that have changed. Of course, the other big change that's happened is those days even stars were paid peanuts compared to what they're getting today. The amount of money the stars are making today is more than the entire budget of Bollywood in those days. So the cost ratios have gone up. I do believe that the big stars will have to moderate their fees to make it on a profit-sharing basis more and more, because I don't believe that the kind of prices that stars are being paid will be sustainable without some kind of profit sharing coming in. Otherwise, the risks are too great. But I encourage the thought of people participating more, everyone participating more on the results of a film, rather than just taking massive lump sums up front. However, that's not for me to say. Each generation will decide for themselves, The film industry is in a state of great change. As you saw from Alaya, she's done regular films, she's done blockbuster films, she's done streaming services with U-Turn and Freddie and those things. So the nature of distribution has changed dramatically, the nature of production has changed dramatically, and the nature of exhibition has changed dramatically. So huge changes over the years that I have seen. But what remains constant is the need for good stories, good storytelling, and good acting, and good creativity all round.
The last thing that, we just want to wrap up. Priyanka, you want to just ask the last question?
Sure. Is there any message that you would like to share with your fans?
With my fans? Well, thank you for being my fans. Thank you for supporting me for all these years. I'm empowered by the love and affection that I've got from people who like my work, who support me, who write to me, who see my films. My power comes from all of you, and I want you to know that I'm very grateful for it. And you have empowered me in ways that made me reach for things I couldn't even have imagined when I set out in life. So thank you for that. And the other thing I want to say is that you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. So think of giving back to society too, in whatever way you can. And if it is part of your DNA, part of your desire, help organizations like Sightsavers India bring light into the lives of millions of people that are visually challenged. And do subscribe to this channel to see me now and to see me or more of me in the future. And I hope you have a wonderful time doing it. Enjoy yourselves and subscribe.